First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Tonight on WUFT News, First at 5, Hurricane Michael is gone, but people are still in dire need. What one local community is doing to help.
And President Trump pays a visit to the Panhandle to see the damage Michael left behind. That's our top story. I'm Lucki Henry.
And I'm Chris O'Brien. NBC's Jay Gray shows us today's scenes in Bay County.
To see this personally, it's very tough, very tough.
President Trump on the ground for the first time since the storm.
We are doing more than anybody would have ever done, and probably there hasn't been hits like this, certainly not very often.
Touring the devastation in the Florida Panhandle, while recovery teams spend their 5th day here, sifting through debris. Hoping for a miracle in this mess to find some of the more than 3 dozen still missing, somehow still alive.
Extra supplies coming today, about 3 times what we had yesterday. So, yeah, should be in good shape.
Supplies and support continue to pour into the hardest hit areas. Water, ice, a warm meal.
We definitely weren't prepared for 3-4 weeks of no power, so this obviously has been a huge blessing.
For survivors, there's also a comfort that comes with being together, because their emotions, like this community, have been left exposed, raw by the storm.
We're literally knocking on death's door. The winds, the sound, the vibrations, the pressure. I don't know if I'm never going to be the same.
Neither will this place they call home, battered and torn apart. Jay Gray, NBC News.
While recovery teams continue the search for those still missing, President Trump promises federal aid through this difficult recovery process.
Michael brought flooding throughout the Big Bend, and recovery centers are opening as close to Gainesville as Taylor County.
WUFT's Veronica Vernacchio spent the day there learning how it will work.
The U.S. Small Business Administration is here in Perry, Florida, where they've recently set up a recovery center right here behind me that's going to help assist small businesses in the area with Hurricane Michael damage.
You don't have to wait for your insurance to settle. In fact, we encourage people just to get in there, register with FEMA, and submit their disaster loan application as soon as possible.
They have centers in Taylor County as well as Bay, Franklin, and Gulf County for as long as needed. They offer low-interest disaster loans for small businesses, homeowners, renters, and nonprofits of up to $2 million.
When it's a presidential declared disaster like Hurricane Matthew, Hurricane Florence, it's a pretty catastrophic event for a community.
You can apply online at SBA's website, by going to a recovery center, or by calling 1-800-659-2955.
It's your home, it's crushing, and if it's a business, I mean, that's the people rely on those businesses for their economy. Anywhere where there's a disaster is heartbreaking.
For more information on how to apply for this loan, you can go to www.sba.gov. In Perry, Florida, Veronica Vernacchio, WUFT News.
With many resources like cell phone service still inaccessible in the Panhandle, Alachua County fire rescue teams are stepping in to help. These teams traveled to Mexico Beach and Panama City shortly after Hurricane Michael. They brought a 100-foot radio tower for emergency personnel communication, as well as a medical support unit bus to transfer patients to hospitals. Deputy Fire Chief Harold Theus says he speaks with the teams at least once a day and still does not know how long they will stay in the Panhandle.
We're working on right now trying to figure out when is the best time to get them back. I'm not sure how long those resources are going to be needed out there.
ACFR is working to switch out team members by Wednesday.
That fall weather didn't stick with us very long, and just like that, it feels like it's summer again.
Yeah, it was so hot today. I hope we can finally see some cooler temperatures get here soon. Let's throw it over to WUFT's Justin Revis now in the Weather Center. Justin?
Well, Lucki and Chris, unfortunately, we're going to see some warm temperatures the next few days, and later this week we will see it cool down to not so fall temperatures, but by the end of this weekend, we will see those temperatures get back to fall weather. Now, right now, it is unseasonably warm with temperatures in the 90s. 91 still in Gainesville right now, 90 in Stark, and 92 in Lake City. We are tracking a few showers around the area, mainly in southern Marion, but as we move farther into the evening, we can expect a few scattered showers to make their way up towards Alachua County and the rest of north central Florida. And as we move into the evening with those clouds from the rain, temperatures going to stay really consistent around the mid-70s as we move into the morning. Back to you.
Today, Marion Technical College graduated its first class of truck drivers. WUFT's Vanessa Villalobos joins us from the newsroom, the story of what it takes to get behind the wheel.
Marion Tech geared up to train drivers after 2 local high schools took over the training for package handling. Both roles support the large distribution centers Marion County is attracting. And I found out today that some people seem almost born to drive a big rig.
Adrian Green.
Adrian Green has been fascinated with trucks since he was a kid.
Growing up, I always had toy trucks, you know, Tonka toys, Toys R Us trucks, BP.
His dad was a truck driver and Adrian is about to follow in his footsteps.
You know, I done had a few dreams where I thought I was actually driving, then I woke up, I'm like, man, that was just a dream.
Green's desire to become a semi-driver led him to a new program at Marion Technical College. He's graduating from an 8-week program to earn his commercial driver's license and just has to finish his written test. Experienced truck driver Ricky Monroe is the lead instructor.
You get to mold them more into a truck driver than just learning how to drive. You're actually teaching them how to be out in the industry and survive.
The students are taught by a simulator first before they get behind the wheel. It can simulate different weather and traffic conditions and shows how a tractor trailer behaves.
They loved it. They loved the simulator. What it does is they get comfortable in the simulator so there's not so much nervousness getting into the truck.
Green has never been shy about climbing in a big rig. It's a childhood dream come true.
I had a collection of Hot Wheels and, you know, just all kind of little small toys and stuff, but the semis was always one of my favorites. So
the American Trucking Association says there's a huge shortage of drivers nationwide, despite the pay ranging from $40 to $100 grand a year. Today's 8 graduates all have accepted job offers or are weighing their options. Reporting live from the newsroom, Vanessa Villalobos, WUFT News.
Thank you, Vanessa. Alachua County may soon have a children's trust, which would bring a need for qualified citizens to serve on the board. If created, the children's trust would provide developmental and treatment service. The county has already opened applications for trust board members ahead of the vote in an effort to hit the ground running and establish the trust by early next year. If funding is approved on the November ballot, the program would invest in the well-being of children in the county.
For those folks to become contributing, productive members of our community. You know, there's a whole lot goes into it in terms of early brain development and after-school activities and just taking care of our young people.
Tonkovich says some of the possible programs overseen by the board could work hand in hand with health and developmental programs at UF Health. Applications for the position remain open until next Friday.
There may be a breakthrough coming in the mystery of a Saudi journalist feared dead. Today, investigators are in the building in Turkey where he disappeared. NBC's Bill Needy has more from Istanbul.
13 days after the disappearance of the Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, a Turkish investigation team arrived in 3 vehicles, one of them labeled Crime Scene Investigation Unit. They were dressed in forensic white uniforms, about a dozen people in all, including 2 Turkish prosecutors. And this investigation may take some time. It's a joint investigation along with Saudi officials. But most unusually, several hours before they arrived, a cleaning crew was seen entering the Saudi consulate. And it is also unusual that an investigating team would arrive at a crime scene 13 days after the crime is believed to have been committed. There has been no sign of Jamal Khashoggi since he entered the Saudi consulate. Here it's quite clear from the Turkish side that the 15 men who got off those 2 Saudi-registered jets were connected with the Saudi security establishment. One of them was a forensic expert. There is still, after 13 days, very, very little that we know for sure. But for now, an investigation here has begun. Bill Neely, NBC News, Istanbul, Turkey.
We do have a late-breaking update from CNN. CNN cites unnamed sources in reporting that Saudi Arabia is preparing a report confirming he is dead and blaming it on an interrogation gone wrong. The initial idea was to force him back to the kingdom. CNN says the report may conclude the operation was not properly cleared and those involved will be held responsible. Coming up on WUFT News First at 5, beekeeping is on the rise, what the buzz is all about.
plus how local bands are celebrating the anniversary of the Woodstock era. Those stories and more after the break.
And coming up next, I have your updated forecast for the rest of the week.